Welcome to my channel Simply Mathematical. In this video, let us solve the problem 16 to 19th of the miscellaneous exercise on chapter 1. And please do subscribe to my channel to get the latest updates. Okay. Let us start with the 16th problem. The 16th problem is let A be equal to the set 1, 2, 3. Then number of relations containing the ordered pair 1, 2 and 1, 3 which are reflexive and symmetric but not transitive is. Okay, so this is the MCQ, right? Multiple choice question. So let us see how to solve this. Okay, you are given the set A equal to 1, 2, 3, right? Now we have to find the number of relations, okay, containing the element ordered pair 1, 2 and 1, 3 and which is reflexive and symmetric but not transitive. Okay, so before looking at the number of relations, what you have to look at is the largest relation that you can have here. Okay, so you look at this A cross A, so that will be what? 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, right? Then you will have element 1, 2, 2, 1, okay? Then 1, 3, 3, 1, then 2, 3, 3, 2, okay? So this is the largest relation that you can have on the set A, right? Now we have to find what? We have to find the relation containing 1, 2 and 1, 3 which is reflexive and symmetric but not transitive. Okay. Now first let us revise what is reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Okay. So R is reflexive. Okay, if A, belongs to R for all A belong to A, okay, then R is symmetric. Okay, if A, B belongs to R, then B, A belongs to R, okay, for all A, B belonging to the set A. And R is transitive, okay, if A, B belongs to R and B, C belongs to R, then A, C will belong to R. Okay, for all A, B, C belonging to the set A. So here you can see that this reflexive relation means what? You have A, A belong to R for all A belong to A. So for all A this condition should be satisfied. Okay. So that is the reflexive relation. Now what is symmetric? Now this is a conditional statement, right? If A, B belongs to R, then B, A belongs to R. Okay. So if A, B belongs to R, then you should have B, A. Okay. So conditional statements is okay. So that is symmetric relation. Now what is transitive relation? This is also a conditional relation. So that means if A, B belongs to R and B, C belongs to R, then A, C should belong to R. Okay. So if these two belongs to R, then A, C should belong to R. Okay. Now let us look at the question. Okay, main, that is the number of relations containing 1, 2 and 1, 3 which are reflexive and symmetric but not transitive. So if you consider this relation, okay, R1, let us say. Now since the relation is to be reflexive, that means 1, 1 should be there, 2, 2 and 3, 3 should be there. Okay, all A, should be there. Okay, that is compulsorily present, okay, in the relation to be reflexive. Now suppose we look at the question. Now 1, 2 and 1, 3 should be there. So we will put in this relation. So 1, 2, 1, 3, okay, are in the relation. Right. Now since the relation has to be also symmetric, Okay, what we should do, we should put 2 comma 1 and 3 comma 1 in the relation. Okay, so this is what you will get, right? Now if you look at this relation is reflexive because 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3 is there. Then it is symmetric because 1 comma 1 is there, so 1 comma 1 should be there, so that is there here. Similarly for these two, and then if 1 comma 2 is there, 2 comma 1 should be there, which is present. If 1 comma 3 is there, 3 comma 1 is present. Okay, right? So this relation is reflexive and symmetric. So R1 is reflexive, okay, and symmetric, okay, but not transitive. Why? So because if you look at this element 2 comma 1, 2 comma 1 is in the relation R1 and 1 comma 3 is there in the relation R1, right? So that means 2 comma 3 should be there in the relation R1, but which is not present here. Okay, so this relation R1 is not transitive. Okay, so not transitive because 2 comma 1 belongs to R1 and 1 comma 3 belongs to R1, but 2 comma 3 does not belong to R1. Okay, so what we got, R1 is reflexive and symmetric but not transitive. Okay, so this relation R1 satisfies the given condition of the problem. Okay, now let us go ahead. So this is the largest relation you can get on the set A, right? So we have to look at number of relations which satisfy the condition. So we can add more elements, okay, and check if we get more relations which satisfy the given condition. Okay, so this is the smallest relation which is satisfying the given condition, right? R1. Now let us add elements. So if we now add 2 comma 3, suppose, okay, what you will get? So if we add, okay, 2 comma 3 in R1, right, we have to add 3 comma 2 in R1. Why? Because R1 should be symmetric, okay, or the relation should be symmetric. Okay, now if we add this, what you will get? You will get R2 equal to 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3, 1 comma 2, then 1 comma 3, 2 comma 1, 3 comma 1, and just now we added what? 2 comma 3, 3 comma 2. Okay, so what you are getting is this relation, so which is equal to what? Which is equal to nothing but A cross A, right? Here. Now this relation that is there here, okay, is reflexive, symmetric as well as transitive. Okay, this is a completely transitive relation, you can see that. Okay, so what you get? R2 is reflexive, symmetric, okay, and transitive, right? So this will not be a relation which is satisfying the given condition of the problem. So what is the only relation which is satisfying the given conditions in the problem is R1. Okay, so therefore R1 is the only required relation. Okay, so how many relations you get satisfying the given condition? Only one, that is R1, right? So the option is what? The first, right? Option A, that is 1. Okay, so that was the 16th problem. Now let us go to the 17th one. So the 17th one is what? Let A be equal to the set 1 comma 2 comma 3, then number of equivalence relations containing the element 1 comma 2 is. Okay, so this is a similar problem, right, as the previous one, but what we have to look at here, we have to look at that the relation is equivalence relation, okay, containing 1 comma 2, right. The set is the same, A equal to the set 1 comma 2 comma 3. So A is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3. So you look at A cross A, always you have to look at this set, okay, when you do this type of questions. So A cross A will be 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3, then 1 comma 2, 2 comma 1, 1 comma 3, 3 comma 1, then 2 comma 3, 3 comma 2. Okay, Cartesian product A cross A, right, this is what you'll get. Now we have to look at the relations which satisfies the given condition of the problem. Okay, so you consider R1 equal to what? See, since the relation should be equivalence relation, so it should be reflexive, symmetric as well as transitive. Okay, so since it should be reflexive, that means 1 comma 1 should be there, 2 comma 2 should be there, 3 comma 3 should be there. Okay, then it should contain the relation 1 comma 2, that is also there. So 1 comma 2 we will put in this relation R1. Now since 1 comma 2 is there, the relation has to be symmetric, so we have to put 2 comma 1 also, okay, in this, right. So we get this. Okay, now if we look at this relation, this is reflexive, symmetric as well as transitive, right. Reflexive because 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3 is there, then symmetric because 1 comma 1 is there, so 1 comma 1 should be there, so it is there. Similarly for these two elements, right. Now if 1 comma 2 is there, 2 comma 1 should be there, so it is there. So this relation R1 is also symmetric. Now let us check transitive. So is it transitive? So 1 comma 2 is present, 2 comma 1 is present, so 1 comma 1 should be present, and it is there here, right. Now 1 comma 2 is present, 2 comma 2 is present, so 1 comma 2 should be present, so which is there here. Okay, so you can check all the elements, all the pairs, and see that R1 is transitive. So R1 is reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Okay, so this is what we get. So therefore this relation is one of the required relations, okay, which satisfies the given condition in the problem. Now since the largest relation that we can get is this, we will add more elements and check whether we will get the required relations. Okay, so we add 1 comma 3, okay, in R1, right. So we have to add what? So we have to add 3 comma 1, right, in R1, okay, because the relation has to be symmetric. Okay, now this we have added, right, in this. Now what happens here? You will get a relation R2 equal to 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3, then 1 comma 2, 2 comma 1, then we added this, so 1 comma 3, 3 comma 1. Okay, now you see that this relation is reflexive, okay, symmetric also, right? But it is not transitive. Why? Because if you look at this, 2 comma 1 is there in the relation R2, 1 comma 3 is there in the relation R2. That means 2 comma 3 should be there in the relation R2, right? But 2 comma 3 is not present in this relation R2, so this relation not be transitive. Okay, so R2 is reflexive, okay, symmetric, but not transitive, okay, because 2 comma 1 belongs to R2 and 1 comma 3 belongs to R2, but 2 comma 3 doesn't belong to R2, okay, right? So therefore it is not transitive. Okay, now since it is not transitive but we have to get equivalence relation, so we add what? We add the next elements. So we add, which one is remaining? 2 comma 3, right? 2 comma 3 was not there, so we will add 2 comma 3. So 2 comma 3 we have to add, so we add 2 comma 3 in R2, right? So we have to add what? 3 comma 2, right, in R2. Why? Because the relation has to be symmetric. Okay, right? Since we wanted transitive relation, we had to add 2 comma 3. Then 2 comma 3 if we add, then we have to add 3 comma 2 because the relation has to be symmetric also, right? So we get this, that is 2 comma 3 and 3 comma 2 will also be have to added to the relation R2. Okay, so therefore the relation R3 will be what? 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3, 1 comma 2, 2 comma 1, right? Then 1 comma 3, 3 comma 1, then 2 comma 3, 3 comma 2. Okay, now this is what? This is the relation A cross A, right? Okay, so this relation is reflexive because 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3 is there. It is symmetric because 1 comma 1 is there, so 1 comma 1 should be present, which is there. Then similarly for these elements, right? Okay, then 1 comma 2 is present, so 2 comma 1 should be there, so which is there here, right? Then 1 comma 3 is there, so 3 comma 1 should be present, which is there. 2 comma 3 is there, so 3 comma 2 also should be present. There are many more elements that you have to check symmetric relation, but you will get that. Okay, you can check it. Now also the relation has to be transitive, so you can also check that this relation will be transitive. Okay, so this relation R3 is reflexive, okay, symmetric and transitive. Okay, that is equivalence relation. Okay, that is equivalence relation, right? So this is also one more relation that we got, which was equivalence relation. Okay, this R1 also we had got, right? So R1, R3 are the required relation, so therefore R1 and R3 are the required relations. Okay, so therefore which option? The option B, right, which is there are two relations, okay, satisfying the given condition. Okay, now let us go to the 18th problem, right? 17th is done, let us go to the 18th. So what is 18th? Let f from R to R be the signum function, okay, defined as fx is equal to 1, right, when x is greater than 0, 0 when x is equal to 0, right, and minus 1 is when x is less than 0, and g from R to R be the greatest integer function given by gx equal to greatest integer which is less than or equal to x, right? This means what? Greatest integer which is less than or equal to x. Then does f composite g and g composite f coincide in open 0, 1 closed? Okay, so that we have to check, right? So what we have to check is f composite g and g composite f coincide, means are they equal in which interval? Open 0, 1 closed. Okay, so let us see how to solve. So 18th, so the function given is f from R to R and defined by fx equal to 1 when x is greater than 0, 0 when x is equal to 0, and minus 1 when x is less than 0. This is the signum function, right, which you have studied in the 11th standard. Okay, signum function, this is called as. Now what is the second function? G from R to R, which is nothing but greatest integer function. Okay, so that means gx is equal to this square bracket x. That means what? Greatest integer less than or equal to x. Okay, greatest integer less than or equal to x, right? So let us see how to solve this. Okay, so what we have to calculate is f composite g and g composite f. Okay, so for f composite g, what you do? You will take one element x in the domain of g. Okay, so what you will get? F composite g of x will be f of g of x, right, by the definition of composition of functions. Okay, this is what? This is nothing but, okay, so we have to check what? But we have to check that f composite g and g composite f coincide in the given interval, right? So let x belong to the given interval, that is open 0, 1 closed. Okay, so you take x from this, okay, which is the subset of this, right? X belongs to this set, open 0, 1 closed. This set is subset of the real numbers, so the function is defined there. Okay, so f of g of x. Now g of x is what? G of x is this greatest integer function of x. Okay, now if you look at this, x belongs to what? Open 0, 1 closed, right? So if you look at the number line, this is 0, this is 1. So open 0 means 0 is not included, okay, and closed 1 means 1 is included, and all these numbers which are between 0 and 1. Okay, now greatest integer function is what? Suppose, see, x is not 0, right, because 0 is not included. So suppose we take x here, okay, between 0 and 1, right? So what will be the greatest integer function of x? If you take any x between 0 and 1, say for example x equal to 0.5, so greatest integer function of 0.5 is what? greatest integer function of 0.5 will be greatest integer which is less than or equal to 0.5. Okay, less than or equal to, so less than 0.5, what is the integer which is less than 0.5? It is 0, right? So this will be 0. So for any x you take, okay, between 0 and 1 is not included, okay. So this is for what? X belonging to open 0, 1 open, right? 1 we are not including, okay. That then the value of the function will be 0, okay. And when you look at greatest integer function of x when x is 1, right? So what will happen? You will get greatest integer function of 1 is what? Greatest integer function of 1 means greatest integer less than or equal to 1. Okay, so what is the greatest integer less than or equal to 1? It is 1 only, right? Okay, greatest integer less than or equal to, right? Equal to is there, so greatest integer of an integer is that integer only, okay. So you will get this. Now this is when x is equal to 1, right? So there are two conditions, okay. There are two conditions that you get. So that is f of this greatest integer of x, that means 0, right, when x belongs to open 0 comma 1, and f of 1, right, when x is equal to 1. I am just writing the values of the function in these sets, okay. So when x belongs to the open 0 comma 1 open, then you will get 0, right, and when x is equal to 1 you will get 1, okay. So like that. Now if you look at this, f of 0 will be what? Now you look at the definition of f. So f of 0 is 0, right? So this is 0 when x belongs to open 0, 1 open. Then f of 1 is what? F of 1 means, which definition you have to take? 1 you have to look at, right? F of 1 we are calculating, x is equal to 1. Now 1 is greater than 0, right? So the definition of the function is 1. So f of 1 is 1, okay, and this is when x is equal to 1. So you get f composition g of x as this, right? Okay, then now let us look at g composition f. So let x belong to open 0, 1 closed, right? Now we will calculate g composition f of x, right? So what it is? G of f of x, okay, now which is equal to what? G of, see, now you look at this, okay, set. So since x belongs to open 0, 1 closed, right, then what will be fx? See, fx will be 1 here. Why? X belongs to open 0 comma 1 closed means what? X is greater than 0, right? X is not 0 because open 0 is there. So x is greater than 0, that means fx will be 1, right? So this is 1. Okay, now what is g of 1? It is nothing but greatest integer function of 1, so which is 1, right? So what you get is g composition f of x is equal to 1, right, for all x belonging to the open 0, 1 closed, okay. Any x you take, you are getting only one definition, that is 1, right? So you can see that these functions are not the same, right? This is what f composition g when 0, f composition g of x is 0 when x is belongs to 0 comma 1, and f composition g is 1 when x is equal to 1. Now G composition f of x is 1 for all x. So that means these are different, but we have to show it, right? How? See, let x be equal to half. Okay, so that is what you do is take x belonging to open 0 1 open, right? That is between 0 and 1. So what you will get it as f composition g of half. So that is equal to what? Half belongs to this, right? This set. So the definition of the function f composition g is 0, right? So you'll get 0, right? So f composition g of half is 0, and g composition f of half will be what? So again you have to look at this, okay? So x is half, so g composition f of half will be 1, right? For all x, the definition of the function is 1. So in particular, if you take g composition f of half, you will get 1 only, right? For all x, the definition is 1. So in particular for half, it will be 1 only, right? Okay, so therefore what you get? F composition g of half is not equal to g composition f of half, right? So what you get? Therefore f composition g and g composition f are not equal. Why they are not equal? Because when the function will be equal, when f composition g of x is equal to g composition f of x for all x belonging to the given set, that is open 0, 1 closed. Okay, for all x this should be true, but we have found one x, that is half, right, in this set, such that this condition is not satisfied. Okay, we are not getting equal. So therefore f composition g and g composite f are not equal. So therefore f composition g and g composite f do not coincide. Okay, they do not coincide. Okay, so that was the problem number 18. Now let us go to the problem number 19. So problem number 19 is what? Number of binary operations on the set a comma b are. Okay, so you have to find number of binary operations on the set a comma b. So let us see how to solve. This is an MCQ. Okay, now what do you mean by binary operation on set a comma b? So binary operation means this. Okay, star from a cross a comma b cross a comma b, right, to the set a comma b. Okay, this is a binary operation. Okay, on set a comma b, right? So how you write the binary operation? The set Cartesian product with itself goes to itself. Okay, so that is how you write the binary operation, right? This is the definition. Now this binary operation is a function. Okay, you know that this binary operation is a function. Now if we look at this set, what is this set? This set is nothing but a comma a, then a comma b, right, then b comma a and b comma b. Okay, so this set is this set. Okay, now we have to find the binary operations from this set to this set, right? We have to find the number of binary operations from this set to this set. So if we write the domain here, okay, so what it will be? A comma a, then a comma b, okay, b comma a and b comma b. So this is the domain and this is the codomain, which has a and b only. Okay, only two elements in this set. Now what we have to do is we have to find the number of binary operations on the set a comma b. That means we have to find the number of functions from this set to this set, right? We have to find the number of functions from this set to this set. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to count here. Okay, we have to count how many functions are there from this domain to this codomain. Okay, how many functions are there from this domain to this codomain. Now to count we have to build the function. Okay, here. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to build functions. Okay, so how to build a function, let us see. You can build a function by assigning images to the elements in the domain, right? You can build function by assigning images to the elements in the domain. So now you see this first element. How many choices of images does this first element have? This have two choices, right? This element has two choices, A and B. So in how many ways, in other words, you can select the image for this element, okay, in the domain? In how many ways you can select the image? So that is what 2C1. Okay, what we are doing, we are building a function. Okay, that is we are assigning images to the elements in the domain of the function. So I mean in the domain. Okay, so this first element has two choices, so 2C1, right? The second element, okay, has how many choices? Again two choices, right? A or B, any one this element can select. Okay, so depending on this, okay, once this element selects an image, depending on that you are selecting the image for the second element. Okay, so 2C1. Now again, depending on whatever is selected, this element will have how many choices? Again one. Again you look at this element, how many choices does it have? Again 2. Okay, so 2C1. Okay, two choices, one is selected from the two given choices. Okay, one is selected from the two given choices. Okay, like that it is. Now we were saying this selection right here is dependent on the previous one, so multiplication. Okay, this selection is dependent on the previous one, so multiply. Also this selection is dependent on the previous selection, so multiply, right? So we have built a function in number of ways, right? We have built a function by looking at number of ways of selecting images. So how many functions you will have? You will have this many functions. Okay, so the number of functions from the set A comma B cross A comma B to A comma B, okay, is 2C1 multiplied by 2C1 multiplied by 2C1 multiplied by 2C1. Okay, so which is what? 2C1 is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2, so which is 2 raised to 4, right? Which is nothing but 16. Okay, number of functions means what? Number of binary operations, right? So how many binary operations? 16. So what is the option? It is the second one, B, 16. Okay.